Sometimes it's the emails I get that provide the biggest tells into the way some of you process information. And I've put together 4 here that I think, are good indicators of a food addict's mind. Now keep in mind, this is partly my own experience, but it's also yours. And these are tendencies that I've seen in me as well as in you. So these are 4 big tells that shed a lot of light on the food addict mindset. The first one, when you long for cutting loose or splurging. This is the mentality I get in an email that says something like, why and when will I ever get to cut loose again and never care about food? Or why is it so easy to fail? Why is it so easy to fall off the wagon? Basically, it's a desperation mindset that says, oh, I just long for the days when I didn't have to care about any food. But this is a tell, because it shows how out of touch you are with normal eating. It is akin to an old person asking, why are young people so rebellious? Or why do young people and their fancy cell phones have to be so complicated? Well, answer that. It's, of course, if your mind is still fresh and you are still relevant and you are still learning, then it's not complicated. You can take any 4 or 5-year-old kid now, or 6-year-old kid, and put them around a cell phone. They know more about technology than someone who's 2 or 3 times their age, because they're predisposed to intaking new knowledge. Well, when someone writes me an email like Emily did this week, she says, why can't I ever cut loose again? Will it ever be that I can never think about food anymore and get to eat what I want? The answer, Emily, is no. It will never be like that again, any more than you will ever go back to believing in people who come down the chimney when you were 8 or 7. Those days of not caring are gone forever. But they're gone forever because that's the next stage in life. That's the next stage. Yes, a child can sit there with a whole bunch of Halloween candy and eat until they naturally get those feelings of, I'm full, I don't want to eat anymore, because they're in touch with themselves. But of course, time will change that. So when someone asks, why is it so easy to fail, or why can't I cut loose again, you're showing the fact that you are no longer in touch with yourself and your body. When I managed private security for a reform school in Austin about a year ago, we had a boy there. He was all of 17 years old, and he said, when he was asked by the class what he wanted to do to relieve stress, he said, I want a dummy, and I want a machete, and I want the dummy, when I hit it with the machete, to have fake blood so that I can relieve my frustration. And I can remember thinking, wow, this kid is off the marker. But of course, in his mind, he was completely on point. He thought that was a great normal way to relieve stress. He had no idea that not only is it not a way to relieve stress, it's a way to make you more stressful and more angry and more bent. But in his mind, that's the way it worked. So when someone says, why can't I cut loose? Why can't I just break loose and go crazy doing something? That's an indicator of how messed up you are. A normal person enjoys eating cake or cookies, but they don't plan their day around it and say, I am going to get cookies and I'm going to totally destroy a box of Oreos or vanilla wafers. And then after that, I'm going to grab this. They don't plan their day around it. When a person plans their day around food, when a person says, I've got to cut loose and splurge, that's an indicator of the disorder. Same thing with drugs, same thing with sex addiction, same thing with, like this boy who developed a warped idea of how you should express your anger. Everybody else is normal. Well, everybody else who is normal is normal. But for the people who are bent like this, it's important to see that the very fact that you ask that question, the very fact that you ask, why can't I cut loose like I used to, is an indication of your illness. So that's number one. Number two, when you look for easy shortcuts. I still get people who email me and they say, you've told us something to the effect of, you've told us how you do OMAD, now give me an easier way. As if I'm just sitting on the good knowledge, as if I'm posting these videos to help you, but I'm just sitting on the good stuff because I'm just that kind of guy. There is no easier way than what I have given you. I have time tested on my own experiment, which is my life, what is the most easiest and hacked way to try to get the best advantage of change for the better, for your eating. But it's never going to be, quote, easy. And I put that in quotes because it will never be easy enough for you. Just like the people we talked about who are always longing to cut loose and eat and go crazy, people who are always looking for shortcuts, it's never going to be good enough. They're always going to want to find an easy way. So I get people who honestly email me and they say, let me pull it up here. They say things like this. They say things, this is actually hilarious. I want a way where I am never hungry and I'm always in control and I always get to eat what I want. And let me go down here. And I always feel full and have lots of energy. So basically, you want to adjust and change your eating without any sacrifice whatsoever. The fact that you ask for that, it shows a very troubled mindset. Anyone who asks for stuff free or asks for stuff easy, that tells me something about you. That tells me that you were trying to buck the system. That you believe, it's in your mentality to believe that you are entitled. You deserve something that other people don't deserve. And that tells me a world about you. That's why on my paid consulting program, there's a fee. It's not because I need the money. It's because my time is valuable. And when you are willing to invest in yourself, that tells me you are successful. And it has not been wrong to date. People who will invest in themselves will be successful. People who want free stuff will never be happy and will never be successful. Look at how many 419 scams that you see on the internet. Everybody who's listening to this right now, who has knowledge and proficiency with getting online, whether it's YouTube or something else, has run into these 419 scams. These are where someone from South Africa sends you an email. Hello, dear. I am so-and-so I'm a dethroned prince from so-and-so. I want to put this money in your bank account, and I'll give you a percentage of it when I come over there. It's classic scam, and it was so popular when the internet started, but they're still out there. Why? You think to yourself, who in the world would fall for such a stupid thing? The answer is 10 people. For every one of those messages that make it to your spam folder, they'll have about 10 victims. They'll have about 10 people send them hundreds and hundreds, if not more, dollars. Thousands of dollars sometimes. I study this because I'm in loss prevention. It's my career, my day gig. People still fall for this stuff. Why? Because their mentality is an entitlement mentality. There are no shortcuts. There are no ways where you're never going to be hungry or you're never going to be stressed. It doesn't exist. If it did, I'd give it to you. Number 3, when you put your weight loss success in someone else's hands. This is when people email me and they ask me, they say, will I succeed at this? I get lots of emails like this. They say, will I succeed at OMAD? Why would you put your success in my hands or anyone's hands? The fact that you ask the question shows that you go through life, at least to some degree, like a victim. You are your own victim. You've probably tried many diet plans and failed. Why? Because you're just like a little sheep being led to the slaughter. You just go around and to you've accepted that life is bigger and stronger and tougher than you, and you are the subservient. You are the docile, compliant little sheep who's going to the slaughter. So of course you've tried many diet plans. You've tried many different weight loss plans, but the problem is not with them, it's with you, because that's your mindset. You should say, I know how. Thanks for the tips on intermittent fasting. Now I'm going to kick butt and take names. That's your attitude. That should be your attitude. If it's not your attitude, then you need to look long and hard at your failures and understand that it has everything to do with you, because you've heard me say before, you are the common denominator in every failed relationship or plan that you've ever had. Think about it. It's humbling. Number 4, when you recover binge from a diet. When you recover binge from a diet, what is recover binging? You attempt to start a diet. We've all done this, and you say, "Oh, I messed that up. I'm going to start again tomorrow." But what do you do when you're done? You recover binge. So you say, maybe I didn't do OMAD right. I ate a second meal. I broke down. So instead of salvaging it, you say, well, I'm going to go ahead and have 3 chocolate fudge sundaes and a pizza and start again tomorrow or next week or something. My brother's coming next week, and I will have to celebrate, and I'll look out of the ordinary if I don't. So I'm just going to start next week, or I'm going to start at the first of the new year. I'm getting lots of emails now where people are saying, I'm going to start at January 1st, 2017. It's going to be the same as it always has been, because you have the same mentality of, it's all or the same, all or nothing crazy mentality, which I admit I've always had and had to learn to overcome. When you recover binge, that's this same obsession. So I failed today, I might as well go super crazy and make myself sick and sit in front of the TV for 4 hours after I eat and make myself to where I'm honestly nearly dry heaving full, and then I'm going to start again tomorrow. As if something will be different tomorrow. Everything will just go well tomorrow. That's a dangerous mindset. Let me let you know this. For all of those of you who are easing your way onto OMAD, most people go like I did. You make the change, you suffer through it. That's the best way. But for some people, I'm working with several people who are easing into it, and they're having good success. So maybe they're starting with 2 meals. One normal meal and the other one a very small meal that would fit on a very small, tiny little mini plate. That's still progress, and they're losing weight. People who are starting with just 1 meal and doing calorie beverages until they're nursing up their blood sugars because their body isn't handling a fast as well as some of them are diabetics, and they don't maintain stable blood glucose levels as easily. But they're losing weight. They're making progress. They're already learning that they don't have to be a slave or a victim to their eating. And it's taken them a while, but they're learning it. And they're getting onto it. They're not recover binging. If you are recover binging, that's another of these big tells of how different you are from people who can manage their food normally, who can eat responsibly. So, in conclusion, when you long for cutting loose, when you look for easy or free shortcuts, when you put your weight loss success in someone else's hands, and when you recover binge, those are all huge tells that you are a food addict and need to get a grip. So I hope this has been helpful. If you need to reach out, then reach out. If not, just be aware of yourself. That's ultimately what this is about, just being aware of yourself, because with that comes success.